Hi everyone, so welcome to another academic video. In this one I wanted to chat a little bit about how you decide if you're going to accept an academic appointment. If you are new around here, my name is Caroline. I'm a physics-based academic, so I teach and I research and I work here in the UK at a UK university. And something that has kind of crept into the comments a few times that I've noticed is when you're trying to decide if you want to accept an academic appointment. And for some people that's accepting a lecturer role, sometimes that might be accepting a teaching fellow role, or you could be looking to accept a postdoctoral position or a PhD research position. And often the comment kind of goes along the lines of, how do I know if I should be accepting this academic appointment? So I thought we could tackle that in this video. And I'm just going to share, I guess, my kind of top things that run through my head when I'm thinking, would I want to take on this academic role? So first up, if you are in this situation, congratulations. It obviously means that you've been offered some kind of academic position. So maybe you've been offered your first lectureship, maybe you've been offered to do your research PhD. It's a big deal to get that academic offer. So first up, I find it really flattering and exciting to get that job offer or that research position offer. But then you kind of have to take a step back and go, okay, as exciting as it is to be offered this position, do I want to accept it? And of course, everyone's going to have a different list of criteria that helps them decide whether they want to accept a position or not. So what's on my list may be on your list, or it may not be on your list. There is no one kind of list fits us all. We're each going to have different aspects of a job that we're looking for. But I thought maybe if I share some of the common things that I look for, then maybe in the comment section we can share like our top tips for each other as to what things matter the most before you say yes to that academic offer of a position. One of the things I think that's critical, and I suggest we all look at, is the terms of the offer. Is the offer a fixed length of contract? Is it for so many months, so many years? Is that in line with what you're looking to do with your particular career? You might look at the salary. I think we would all look at the salary and go, is that financially going to be the money that is aligned again to what we are looking individually to be able to achieve in our personal life outside and away from work? And are the working hours, the days annual leave, the working environment, maybe the paternity policies, maybe the ill health and the caring policies, all of those can be really significant depending on your kind of life stage and the factors that matter the most to you. But I think when it comes down to it, the terms of the contract offer are something that we all definitely have to check and really do go through with kind of like a fine tooth comb to make sure that we're happy with everything that's written within that contract. And when we get that offer, so if we're going for a lectureship or a teaching fellow, there will be an associated salary. That is the time to negotiate or to have a conversation if the job then aligns with all your other requirements and your other factors. Is the money and the salary what you need it to be? Because I think I've already discussed in previous videos, in the UK, once you enter the university system, you're then on this kind of spine point system, which is going up by spine points each year. You're kind of locked into a process that really then does determine your pay rises and your pay trajectory, pending some promotions, which we've discussed in a previous video. So, that opportunity to negotiate pay really happens up front at the start before you sign that contract. So yeah, number one, definitely is to check the terms of reference of the contract and to make sure they're in alignment with what you are looking to have to achieve and to be able to need to have in your life to go forward with that particular position. One for me is, do I like the academic environment that I'd be going to work within? And that's a big one. You spend a lot of time at work. And yes, we're in hybrid mode working. Some of us now work from home, some of us work more on campus within the university colleges. But your workplace is still going to be somewhere that you end up visiting, quite likely, quite often. So do you actually just like the place? Do you like the university? Do you feel the university has a good reputation? Do you like the layout of the campus or the colleges? Do you like the lecture theatres? Do you like the provision of facilities within your department? I am a physics lecturer, so not only am I looking for an interesting place where I can do the research that fascinates me, but I need to make sure the laboratories are going to be aligned to support my research interests. So actually checking out the lab, checking out the computational facilities is it is important when I'm deciding whether or not I want to accept that particular job role. And then I guess kind of alongside that, I then look very much at the research area and the research coming out from other colleagues within that department. It's important for me that I have a space to do my research interests, but I want to work alongside dynamic and interesting researchers who have their own lines of interesting research career going on. That we can springboard ideas off each other and kind of collaborate together and take forward joint proposals and joint collaborations, because typically when you're working with another person or multiple people, you might be improving your chances of winning those difficult to get sometimes academic research grants. So, do I find the academic or research output from the department exciting? Is it interesting? Do I want to be a part of that research community? And do I feel my research would slot in and kind of form part of that departmental research picture? Yeah, so for me, the research is an important consideration. It might not be for you if you're looking to do a teaching fellow position. Maybe it's not the research that you're looking at. You're looking actually at the teaching framework, the teaching processes, the teaching environment. If you're deciding whether you're going to take a PhD at a particular department, then yes, the research is going to matter there too. So you'll be looking at their research outputs. But for UK-based lecturers, our roles do combine research and teaching. And so, I would definitely recommend considering the alignment of your research to the research of the department that's offered you the position, and whether you feel that that department is an exciting research space for you to work within. And then you're looking, obviously, to join an academic establishment, which will have, a reputation, a brand, it will have a marketed presence. And again, these are factors to kind of just consider is, do you like how the university portrays itself? Do you like, kind of like the credentials that it puts forward? Does it have particularly good policies for green best practices? Is it particularly supportive, inclusive, a diverse environment? Would you be proud to say that you work at that academic institution? Again, it doesn't. Sometimes people get very, locked onto where a university appears in a league table. And yes, that can be a very, very useful metric in some senses. But equally, league tables can be very variable. You can be up one year and then slide a few places the next year, just because something has happened somewhere in the department or somewhere in the university that has kind of shifted the scores for that 1 year. And then the next year, the university goes back up again. So league tables can be quite volatile. So yes, sometimes you can use them to help you judge or assess the well-being and the reputation of that university. But more often that you'll see it, I guess, in the social media, in the kind of what outputs are they putting, what newsletters are going out, are they involved in things on the radio, on the television, do their researchers share their exciting breakthroughs, do the students seem happy and engaged, do the National Student Survey scores, are they successful for the university, or maybe they're struggling a little bit? How are they doing with the TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework? How are they doing with the REF, the Research Excellence Framework? Do they have a good, inclusive, diverse, environment where you think you're going to be able to thrive as an individual? So again, I would definitely consider that academic university reputation when deciding or not whether I want to be accepting a position with that particular institution. course, I think, sometimes we are driven out of necessity to kind of lean towards accepting a position. If you've been trying to get a lectureship offer and they are incredibly competitive and they can be very soul destroying and frustrating if you are applying and applying and applying and getting to the interview stage and then never quite getting that job offer. When you finally do get a job offer, it can feel like you absolutely have to take it because you're not getting offers from anywhere else. And I can understand that. I can understand that feeling, and not feeling trapped exactly, but feeling like your options are quite restricted and quite limited. And again, we can talk about this in future videos, but you could say, okay, well, this is going to be the perfect match for me anyway, so I'm really delighted that I've managed to get this job offer and I'm going to take the job. Or you might say, well, it's not my perfect university because of X, Y, or Z, but actually it's a really good starting point for me. And yes, I might not spend the rest of my career here, but I'm going to be happy here for a number of years, and therefore you may be very excited and willing still to take that particular job position. Or you then may go, you know what, yes, this is the only job offer maybe you've been able to get or had so far, but if the university doesn't quite align with what you're looking for, or you don't feel it's quite right, then there's still that kind of dilemma of, do you take the job role or not? There are other options. As I said, I've left academia after my PhD and I went and worked in industry. Then I came back to academia. I realise I'm speaking now from a very fortunate position that I do now have a permanent lectureship. So I guess it's always easier to speak from that position when you're not trying or putting yourself forward all the time to get those roles. But yeah, do reflect on whether that job is going to be the job that makes you happy. And it is trickier when you're feeling that you're being pressurised into something to kind of make that clear, rational choice. Do let me know in the comments, do share your thoughts. What is your checklist for deciding whether or not you're going to accept that academic position? Or if you're in the very lucky position to have one or two academic offers, how do you decide which one you're going to go for? Is it geographical reasons? Is it proximity to your children's school? There can be so many factors that actually make the deciding vote for us. And I think quite often, although you can put this all down on paper and you can do pros lists and cons lists and you can try to rationalise everything and score things and try to come up with these complicated metrics to assess whether you should take an offer or not, actually, I think quite often it comes down to a kind of a gut feeling. And you kind of know, I think, whether that university, that role is exciting and is something that's pulling you towards it, or is something that you're thinking, actually, no, this isn't quite the one for me. But yeah, let me know in the comments, how do you decide whether you're going to take a job or not? And if you're new around here, do hit the subscribe button. It's a totally free channel. It's really nice to have an academic space here on YouTube to talk all things university, scholar life, academic stuff that we will encounter from day to day or week to week. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you next Monday for another academic video. Bye.